सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Psychology can never explain these great phenomena. They can never understand the depth in which all these great things are happening. An intellectual man only will feel bored. He won't find any use when you talk about devotion. Because if I speak some philosophy, it gives you knowledge. Knowledge can always be used somewhere. That is why whenever I speak about philosophies, intellectual stuff, people are very happy. It pays, it is going to pay. Somewhere you can use, you can tell your friends, you can convince your friends that you are a great person by going and repeating whatever I said. But the knowledge about devotion, the experience of devotion, you can't encash on it. You won't be able to encash it. It doesn't pay you. It is fulfillment by itself. It cannot be utility for anything. That is why whenever I speak about devotion, people feel bored. But I feel happy. This subject is the closest subject to my heart, because even though Shiva speaks 112 techniques in this book, Shiva speaks about 112 techniques in this book. If I have to say, if I have to pick up a single technique which liberated more number of people, more number of beings have become enlightened through single technique, means I have to pick up this technique only. The technique of devotion. The technique is very simple, just two word. The technique itself, let me enter into the sutra. Mahadeva, Shiva says, devotion frees, that's all. Bhakti gives you mukti, that's all. This is a technique. Each aphorism, each sutra is one meditation technique to liberate people. This is a strange technique, just two words. Devotion frees. You can't reduce the sutra anymore. You can't reduce, edit anymore. I can say this is the ultimate technique which liberated so many millions of people. Maybe if all of you understand the importance or the greatness of this technique, that may inspire and create little interest to work in this line. Devotion is the path. Bhakti is the Sanskrit word for devotion. That is the path which is bliss from the first step. In all other techniques, you need to do at some point which you don't like to do. Usually, the end or the goal is the thing we want. If we can bypass, escape from the path and just achieve the goal, all of us will be really try to work through that path only. Because nobody wants the path, everybody wants only the goal. If you can just have a paycheck without working, who says no? We don't want to go through the path to achieve the goal. But in the devotion, the path of devotion, the very path is so juicy, so tasty, you won't feel like bypassing it. The very path is goal. It is amazing experience, every step. It is just liberating experience, every inch. There is a beautiful saying, devotion is the ultimate experience but not final experience. You need to understand this word, it's a great word. It is the ultimate experience but not the final experience. Means, ultimate happening every moment is devotion. Ultimate experience but happening every moment means you are in your peak. You are in the peak every moment. Every moment new door opens in your being. Every moment something new is happening in you. Maybe if I say what all is not devotion, then you will be able to understand what is devotion. Because what is devotion, Shiva has described with these two words. You don't need any more words. I think even 2 words is too much. Devotion frees is 2 words are not necessary. Devotion is freedom. So just devotion is more than enough. There is no need even for the second word. Because a real devotee never bothers about the freedom or enlightenment or anything. He doesn't even bother about heaven. There's a beautiful story in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is the great literature on devotion. One day suddenly Krishna started crying. Krishna is the Lord of the universe. He started crying. People went and asked, what happened? What happened to you? He says, I have a severe headache. I am not able to bear. He's a great showman. And he started telling, I have a severe headache. He is the guy who gives headache to others. But suddenly overnight, one day morning he says, I am having headache. And he is weeping, crying. All the devotees are running here and there because there is no precedence for this incident. So they do not know what to do. If an ordinary man is sick, immediately they know they should call doctor. If it is too much, then they should call 911. You know what to do. But here, this case has no precedence. He has never fallen sick. So they never had a family doctor. No insurance, nothing. Now what to do? No doctor is ready to treat him. Every doctor says we don't know what medicine we can give for him. For ordinary human beings, we have medicine. We know how to treat human beings, but not the God who gave the head for us. We have no other way, no precedence. They run to him, finally, they ask him, please tell us the medicine, because no doctor is ready to treat you. All the doctors are afraid. They say, we don't know. Because there is no record in the medical field. There is no medicine available for God's headache. There are medicines available for human beings' headache. We have many case histories where people had a headache and we gave medicine, they became all right. So we can again give the same kind of medicine for the same kind of disease. But we don't have a record of gods having any headache or taking some medication. Please give us some guidance. You yourself tell us what can be the medicine. Then Krishna says, the only medicine is the feet dust of my devotees. Bring the feet dust of my devotees and apply on my forehead. Only that can cure my headache. I live in this body for my devotees. So maybe the feet dust of devotees can heal my headache. Then immediately all the assistants, they start running here and there. They go and ask, they went and asked whoever they thought as a great devotees. First a great devotee was asked, please give us your feet dust. We want to heal Krishna's headache. We want to apply on Krishna's forehead. He said, what? My feet dust on Krishna's forehead? Then I will go to hell. It's a sin. I cannot do that. It's a deep disrespect. And then Narada, who was considered as a great devotee, he was asked. They ran to him. He is in charge of telecommunication. He goes round to all the three worlds and spreads news. He's a great devotee of Krishna. He was requested by assistants, please give us your feet dust. He also said, no, I cannot do such a big sin. How can my feet dust be applied on Krishna's forehead? It's a sin. They went round. No so-called devotee is ready to give the feet dust because all of them were only calculating about their sin or their merits. They were bothered only about what will happen to them. And finally the assistants come back to Krishna and they ask, Krishna, what is the solution? You said the devotee's feet dust is the only solution, but no devotee is ready to give. Everybody is afraid to give their feet dust to put on your forehead, your head. They say it's sacrilegious. It's an offense, crime, sin to apply their feet dust on your forehead. They will go to hell. They are afraid of going to hell. Krishna says, maybe go to Vrindavan, ask that milkmaids, gopikas, maybe they will give the feet dust. Then Narada rushes to Vrindavan, asks the gopikas, Krishna is having a headache. We want the devotee's feet dust. Immediately the gopikas have started shouting towards Narada, you guys, what have you done to him? You guys did not take care of him. And they spread a cloth. All the gopikas jumped on that cloth. The story says, all the gopikas have jumped on that cloth. And one gopi told, we don't know amongst us who is a devotee, but all of us are putting our feet dust. Please go and apply it on Krishna's forehead. Some way let him be healed. That's what we want. Narada was shocked. Neither they argued nor they spoke anything. The moment they heard Krishna is having headache, and devotees' feet dust is the medicine. They spread the cloth. All of them jumped on that cloth and said, we don't know who is a devotee among us. We don't want to take a chance. We don't want to delay. We don't want to think and sit and plan. Project plan, deadline, all these things. No. And we don't want you to come back again. That medicine is not working. Please give somebody else's feet dust. No. We can't take all these chances. All of them jumped on that one cloth and said, take this and apply. If even a single person is devotee in this group, his headache will be healed. Narada was shocked. And now Narada knows why Krishna is playing this drama. Now he is trying to teach to all the so-called great devotees what is devotion. What is devotion? Then Narada says, now Narada is taken aback a little bit. Because if he takes this medicine and gives to Krishna, Krishna will first laugh at Narada only. Because Narada himself did not dare to do this. He is supposed to be the great devotee. Then Narada wants to discourage the gopikas, the servant maids. He somehow wants to discourage the servant maids. He says, don't you understand? You will go to hell by doing this. Don't you understand? Your feet dust touching Krishna's head is a sacrilegious thing. He is warning them. He is trying to convince them not to do this act. Gopikas laugh at him. Fool, we don't bother about going to the seventh hell. Who cares for your heaven? Get lost. Don't stand here and talk. First take this and apply it on Krishna's head. First let him be healed. Later on we can discuss and argue all these things. Whether we will go to hell or heaven, we will discuss this later on. First take this and apply it on Krishna's forehead. A simple, straight approach. Spontaneous response. Not analyzed, calculated, logical, mathematical. No. Response without engrams is what I call devotion. Response which is not stopped, analyzed, calculated, diverted by engrams. The energy flowing as it is what I call devotion. When the energy flows as it is, without any calculation, it's a pure excitement. Pure excitement without object is God. The excitement directed towards an object is desire. The excitement without object is energy, is God itself. Here you can see the pure excitement which is not filtered by the different layers, different conditionings, different engrams. Not even the engrams of heaven and hell, because anybody who enters into the spiritual life or religious life, the turn takes only based on the concept of hell and heaven. Either to get the admission into heaven or to escape from the hell. People turn towards religions or spirituality. Here, even that need doesn't exist. Narada was shocked when he saw the depth of devotion he realized what Krishna wants to teach. Most of us are like Narada. We think we know devotion, but we only think we know devotion. We do not know. We have not experienced it. Actually, if somebody says you are poor in the outer world, your ego is not hurt too much. Because poverty is always associated with spirituality. You can just pacify yourself, console yourself. But if somebody says you have no devotion, spiritually you are poor, it hurts too much. You can see in your life. If somebody criticizes you in the line of spirituality, it hurts you too much, because always you believe you have enough of spiritual, or you are spiritual. You try to keep your ego, you try to keep your identity alive through the spiritual ego or the religious ego. When you don't have anything in the outer world to hold on or to claim or to keep your identity alive, you start believing you have something in the inner world. With that belief, you start living and running your life. A small story. A guy was traveling in a train. Suddenly, ticket collector came and asked for his ticket. That guy started searching everywhere. In his suitcase, handbag, purse. He forgot where he kept the ticket, and he is searching here, there, everywhere. Except the coat pocket. He is searching everywhere. Ticket collector asked, why don't you see in your coat pocket first before seeing everywhere? You have not checked in your coat pocket. The guy said, don't tell me to check there, because I am keeping my hope only on that packet. Now I am alive, just thinking maybe the ticket is there. If I check and find it is not there, I'll drop. I am just keeping my hope. Please let me have my hope for a few more minutes. Let me manage the situation with this hope for a few more minutes. You also keep some space without checking, just to keep your hope alive. You have nothing in the outer world, doesn't hurt you too much, because you keep that hope. There is something in the inner world. Without touching that packet, without touching your coat packet, you try to keep your hope alive. Narada was playing the same game, thinking he has got devotion. He was living. Now it is time for Narada to understand that his coat packet is also empty. That is the reason Krishna has played this great drama. This incident is very simple, but the truth behind this incident, if you can understand this one truth, pure excitement which is not filtered, altered, stopped, calculated, channeled by engrams. The pure excitement as it is devotion. The pure life force as it is devotion.